Hello, my little Recusants. It is me, the RPG Recusant, doing something a little bit different this year. We are starting a new series, The Witcher. We're going to be going through all the different games and I suppose, just experiencing this franchise that I have very limited knowledge and experience of. I'm aware that this is very much a beloved franchise, so I suppose I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about the series, what it's going to be like, and set not only my expectations for the game, but your expectations for me playing the games as well. First of all, I do want to thank my friend Sean, who for Christmas got me these games. So, huge shout out. Thank you so much. I hope to do you proud when I play these games. But without Sean, we wouldn't be having this series at all. So, just to say a huge thank you to you. Okay. So, my knowledge of the Witcher series is limited to the first season of the Netflix adaptation. I enjoyed, watched season 2, and then on hearing Henry Cavill's departure, I didn't watch beyond that. Into season 3, I know that was his last one. And I don't know about season 4 beyond that. So it's very limited what I know. And I suppose just to have an episode 0 where we can have like the intro cutscene to the game, because like that's like nearly 12 minutes long, and I was like, oh my god, episode 1's going to be really boring, it's just going to be all cutscenes. So I just thought I'd have this little intro section there. But I know The Witcher, so here's what I know about The Witcher. First of all, the title, The Witcher. The Witcher in question that we follow in these games is Geralt. Henry Cavill's Geralt is, chef's kiss amazing. Guy, you can finish that acronym yourself. Whereas Geralt in the games is Gilf, a ghoul I'd likely flee from. So, graphics wise, they didn't get his best likeness in 1, but having said that, I'm aware it's a very old game, so that's totally fine. But I know Geralt, he is the Witcher that we follow. I know that Witchers are essentially bounty hunters, or like monster hunters. They kind of take coin from locals. They can be hired out to deal with like supernatural disturbances, issues, monsters, etc. I'm aware that in the world of The Witcher, there's kind of 3 main people at play in the kind of machinations of the story. You have Witchers, and you have like the noble families at like war in different countries, and you have sorceresses or sorcerers, and they're kind of all the big moving parts in, I suppose, the wider lore and situations there. So I know sorceresses like Triss Marigold. I know sorceresses like Yennefer of Vengerberg. I know of like Aretuza. I know of like Source and like what magic is all about. So I know kind of multiple players in the game. I just am unsure. At least in The Witcher 1, it seems to be a lot more kind of confined and contained. Geralt seems to be very much kind of going on a lone wolf situation. Like, I played the first hour, so Geralt is kind of, out from Kaer and on a mission. And so what I've understood from this kind of initial thing is that Witchers are kind of supernatural humans, but they're kind of supernaturally made humans through potions. Are those potions the mutagens, or is that something different? It's like vocabulary I got stuck on. But I know that like there's like a witchery potion, and they get made into witchers. as opposed to unlike sorceresses that are like born magical, I think. In terms of how we're going to tackle the series, we're kind of a 100% channel, so I want to try and give you guys 100% of my time, effort, and energy and attention into this game. Even if it doesn't have achievements, I want to try and show you guys the most this game has to offer. My understanding from the fandom is that its reputation is mixed. It is clunky. It is of its time. You know, I'm getting a lot of that sort of, oh, you're doing 1, you're not just going to skip to 3. So there's kind of a lot of that in my ear around this topic. But I want to give it its due. We wouldn't have had 3 if 1, 2 hadn't have crawled and walked respectively. So I want to kind of, get the whole series a chance. From my 1 hour experience, it seems very old school in how it wants to kind of let you explore, because it's not as if Final Fantasy 13, I'll give you an example, of a massive compendium of information you can read through. Geralt collects information regarding monsters, etc., slowly and in piecemeal. And I've noticed that him being even able to take on certain quests requires him to take the time to either and to discover certain things about these monsters in his compendium. And what I'm noticing is there's different ways to make money in order to buy books to help flesh out your compendium, whether it's ingredients on stuff you can collect in the wild. Like, it's not like Oblivion where you just walk outside, collect a bunch of blue flowers, and bam, you can throw them into an alchemy pot and there you go. It's like your alchemy and your collecting of resources is all actually dependent on you knowing what stuff is out there to be collected. And I suppose, yeah, it's kind of really old school in that you can't just run about and just amass tons of wealth by the end of the game because you're like, oh, there's nothing for me to buy. I feel like this game gives weight and gives importance to nearly everything. So the books to understand certain monsters are expensive. The plants, the books on plants and what to gather to make potions are expensive. So you're actually slowly, incrementally building up your money, making a big purchase. And I mean, the value you put on things is its usefulness, but also its expense. So like, if you're wanting to build potion or make potions, use alchemy to get these boosts to your attack damage, to get these resilience potions, healing potions, etc. It's like you're going to want to be able to gather as many resources yourself. So you could just buy the items from vendors, like at like 10 gold a pop or whatever, or orens I should say, a pop. Or you can buy a book for 400, but now you can gather an awful lot of those materials yourself. What I also find interesting is it seems like certain enemies just spawn in the local area and they give good EXP because the battles are challenging. I will say that as well. The battles aren't easy by any stretch, but they give you good EXP, and like as much as you're leveling in your stats and your passive bonuses, you're getting money together to then be able to pay for a book that maybe would be on the enemies you're fighting to give you tactical advantages. You can read it up in your compendium and then go, oh, I can now gather like the Frightener's Eye, for example, or things like that. And so you're actually able to, harvest things differently from monsters because you've taken the time to learn more about them. And there's a tangible benefit to learning more about them, aside from actually going in and reading and going, oh, they're weak to, I'm just saying random things, I don't know yet, but like they're weak to silver powder. So you need to get your silver ore and then grind it in a pestle or something and then add that to your blade and it'll do more damage or whatever. So, I mean, it seems very kind of slow and methodical, and I'm going to give the game its time to, expand and explore on its own pace. And I don't want to just rush the main quest and miss out on a bunch of collectibles, side characters, or nuances that I could be missing out on, because from what I can tell, there's choices. And I suppose big pause here for this. I'm going to 100% explain my point of view in making these decisions. I'm not sure if everyone's going to agree, but I can just put forward and say, look, from my understanding of the scenario, this is why I'm making this decision. So while I absolutely would love conversations in the comments, you know, when it comes to the continuity of this series, I'm going to be loading Witcher 1 into Witcher 2. And obviously, in Witcher 2, there's achievements, and it seems like there might be achievements basing on, like, you know, there's achievements that might be like side with one side, side with the other side. So some might be mutually exclusive. Like, you can't get all the achievements in one playthrough. And I suppose for the continuity of things, if I'm going to be doing 100% guides, I'm going to just do a playthrough, doing as much as I hopefully can in that Witcher 2 playthrough. That will be then our canon story going into the Witcher 3. And then as part of the 100% guide, if I'm doing a supplementary playthrough where we're doing another playthrough that's like all the opposite choices, just as a guide to do certain decisions, then the second playthrough will just be sort of a more what if alternate universe scenario. I am just really conscious that, you know, this game is obviously very, very dear to certain people. And I'm really looking forward to this becoming a really near and dear game to my heart as well. So I'm looking forward to experiencing this for the first time. And when it comes to offering guidance in the comments, etc., I 100% would love guidance in a way that's like, this was really good. You might consider this type of upgrade or this type of potion to make, etc. But I suppose just I want to be mindful that we're not going to have a situation where it's going to be, oh, you made this decision, this is awful because in Act 3 or 4 this is going to happen. Like, just don't give me spoilers, but like, you could like leave a comment and say, look, I didn't agree with this, like, from the information there, this is how I took it, and we can have a conversation in the comments. But I don't want it to turn into like, oh, ruined playthrough, that's terrible, blah blah blah. But like, where I will take critique is if we're in combat and maybe I'm not using the right style, or I'm finding this boss really, or this enemy really difficult to fight, and I might be saying, oh, well, I know it's weak to like Wolfsbane, but I can't find Wolfsbane or something. If you guys can then be like, oh, it's actually, if you go to that particular merchant, they sell such and such and such a thing, that you can make a formula to create like Wolfsbane or something like that. Like, guidance like that is fine. Or if you want to be critical of like, oh, when you're like, press this key to like quickly change stances or something, like, that's all fine. But I'm really tentative that like, this is obviously going to be a long project that I really hope I'm going to enjoy. And my first hour with The Witcher I really did enjoy. So because I'm enjoying it so much, I really just hope that the community and maybe newer people that are coming to the channel because they're Witcher fans and not necessarily Final Fantasy fans, or like, you know, if I happen to be your first exposure to the channel, I just want to let you know that you're all very welcome. And as I say, there will definitely be more Witcher content coming in the future. So please buckle up and stay tuned. I'm going to let the opening cutscene play, which was kind of a lengthy cutscene with the Striga. As you can see here, we're going through the different types of play. And my understanding is The Witcher is the main game, and then like these other side adventures are like DLC stuff, or like little side story things more relating to the books. And I'm aware there's a whole drama around like the books and, you know, the writers. So I'm aware of it, but like, I'm just experiencing the game and how the game is, and that's just, you know, my 2 cents on it. But without further ado, we're going to be playing on hard mode because I've been told that like, look, the game is just too easy because alchemy is kind of broken. That's kind of the only thing I've been told, like, you know, alchemy is really good. But we're going on hard mode, and I'll let the cutscene play, and then we'll start episode 1 in Kaer Morhen. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good one.
His name was Geralt of Rivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait. Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.